gentlemen, it's that movie guy, Zach. Today I'm here to talk about a movie that almost came out 2 months ago, but I still haven't talked about it yet, and I kind of want to. That film would be the newest installment of the Transformers franchise, Bumblebee. Bumblebee takes place in the year 1987 and follows the titular character as he hides out in a small California town after escaping from his home planet Cybertron, where a war between the Autobots and Decepticons is destroying it. Later, a teenage girl named Charlie Watson stumbles across him and the two start to form a bond. However, a few Decepticons come to Earth in order to get information about Bumblebee's colleagues and also kill him. I would consider myself to be a massive fan of Transformers, having seen just about every show to date, played a good majority of the video games, and I had a ton, and I mean a ton of toys. But I'm not a fan of the live-action films. The first and third film, Dark of the Moon, aren't bad, but Revenge of the Fallen, Age of Extinction, and The Last Night I only consider to be movies. They're more or less products. Atrocious products, that is. As for Bumblebee, it's actually surprisingly pretty good. One of the best things about Bumblebee is Hailee Steinfeld's lead performance. She is excellent in this film and is very likable in her role. She also surprisingly brings a lot of emotion and depth to her character, and she was very well written and developed. For once in these movies, the main human character is not annoying or bland and forgettable. This is probably the best performance I've ever seen from Hailee Steinfeld in a movie. As for the other actors, they do good jobs. I wish I could say more about John Cena's performance in the movie, but I couldn't see him at all, so not much to say there. I also have to commend this film for how well written it is. The characters aren't stupid and annoying like they were in the previous films. Plot lines make sense, are set up and paid off unlike in the previous films, has a ton of heart and care put into it. It feels like Transformers, and it finally shows the Decepticons being deceptive and manipulative. You see what happens when you get good writers for once, Michael Bay? The action in Bumblebee is excellent, and for once in these films I can actually tell who's fighting who and see what's going on. The CGI is also impressive, since this is a much smaller scale Transformers film, and it really shines during the opening scene on Cybertron. I was so happy to see Cybertron done right on the big screen, and I got a major kick out of seeing characters like Shockwave, Starscream, Thundercracker, Wheeljack, Ratchet, and even Soundwave complete with his vocoder voice. Also, the director Travis Knight did an excellent job directing this film, and his passion for Transformers shows throughout. I do have some problems with this film, with my biggest being that it's a little derivative of other films, particularly E.T. and the Iron Giant. It follows a lot of the same story beats as those two films, like a young person bonding with an extraterrestrial being. The military gets involved, trying to hide it from the outside world, and it ends very sentimentally, just like E.T. and the Iron Giant. It's like the filmmakers blatantly stole from those two movies and didn't really try to hide it. Also, the third act is pretty predictable, and I saw a lot of it coming from a mile away. Overall, Bumblebee is a very good film and was a pleasant surprise. This is an incredibly fun movie. It feels like it came straight out of the 80s, and is a breath of fresh air for this franchise. This is the Transformers film I've wanted for a long time, and I really hope future films are just as good as this. In my opinion, this is the second best Transformers movie, right behind the G1 movie from the 80s, which in my eyes will never be topped. So, my final grade for this film? You know what? I'm gonna let a friend of mine give his opinion on this movie, which is basically the same as mine. So, Soundwave, it's time for you to sound off.
Bumblebee and Travis Knight superior. Michael Bay inferior. Laserbeak eject. Operation give Bumblebee a B+.